a looper. You know, a caddy, looper. Jack.
We're hitting a 9-iron up the left side here. 8-iron maybe.
No. Nah. 3 wood foot.
Yes, I agree. Yeah? Yeah, just be cognizant of what you're feeling there as you get into your shot.
They don't take the swing. They take the risk. They don't lift the trophy. They lift the doubt. If greatness wears a number, these are the people who gave it 1. The unseen architects. Before the numbers, there's us. A brotherhood of sorts. A bond built on held silences and hard truths.
What do you think? 3 when you get there?
No, yeah, I am. I love 4-iron. Right in the middle of the second one.
There we go. I love 4-iron.
Okay.
The caddy is the closest thing to a coach you'll find in golf. Only there's no whistle, no timeout, and you can sack him on the spot. Like family, but fireable. Like counsel, but carried on shoe leather. If a player is the swing, the caddy is the spine. On the day, he's the most important person in golf you don't see lift the cup. For years, places like Augusta and the US Open didn't permit a player's own caddy. Multiple major winners, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, trusted their regular men.
Herman was the greatest, he was the greatest caddy I ever had. He said, Lee, you're gonna win this tournament. And he says, I never won a major. He says, I want to win a major before I die. And he says, you're gonna win this tournament.
Yet at the Open, Augusta, and the US Open, they often took a local by rule. Those locals were course specialists, every bounce by feel. But they didn't always know the player. Then the sport professionalised. Purses grew, travel widened, players demanded the man who knew them, not just the ground. The rule book followed. The reasons the locals ruled were sound. Money was tight, policies mandated it, and home caddies held course knowledge like a secret language. The shift to personal caddies marked modern golf's awakening. Consistency, psychology, and a shared memory from Tuesday walks to Sunday roars. Keep that in mind. It explains everything that follows. The Suitcase Four, Links Whisperers. They called them the Suitcase Four because they moved as a unit, bags, boots, and battered cases, leaving Southport for whichever coastline the Open had chosen that year. The nickname was literal, but the value they carried was anything but. For American greats crossing the Atlantic, links golf was a different language. Wind first, turf second, ego last. The Suitcase Four were fluent. They walked the course together before anyone arrived, shared notes on the awkward humps and blind bunkers, argued about where a miss could still bounce kind and where it would be punished. Then, when the weather turned, you could count on that. They didn't flinch. They weren't mere carriers. They were strategists. On links, you don't only pick a yardage, you pick a window, a flight, a second bounce. That was their craft. Cut through the noise, call the shot, calm the room inside a player's head. Their advice was simple, because the thinking had been done. Their manner was steady, because storms are normal when you live by the sea. Their legacy is an argument for local knowledge in its purest form. Not folklore, feel. And for a time, if you wanted to turn a champion into an Open champion, you rang the men with the suitcases. Augusta Caddies, Augusta's original architects. Augusta National once required the club's caddies for the Masters, men who carried not only the bags, but a living map. They spoke the course like family, because in many ways it was. The knowledge moved by word of mouth and long apprenticeship. Putts lean to the creek. The wind stands you up through 11. The safe miss on 12 is a lie, not a spot. Among them were superstars in all but name. Pappy Stokes, 5 green jackets with 4 players. Picard, Harmon, Hogan twice. Then Jack Burke Jr. The 1956 Sunday blew bitter and sideways. Pappy's cue was spare. It's blowing out there, man. Keep your head down. Under par, in chaos. The win was Burke's. The weather belonged to Pappy. Willie Peterson, 5 times with Jack Nicklaus. There's a frame that holds them both. 1975, 16th, the putt curling forever. Jack's arm goes, and beside him, Willie's arm goes too, perfectly in step. Nicklaus trusted Peterson's reeds, and the man who made them. On those greens, that trust was gold. Nathaniel Iron Man Avery. Arnold Palmer's 4 jackets. He matched Palmer's charge with a calm certainty. At the close in 1960, before the final stroke had even fallen, Mr. Palmer is the new champ, he said to a friend by the ropes. Not bravado, red, rhythm, inevitability. There was a system of sorts. The club paid the caddy, the player tipped, and a win meant a life-changing envelope. But the stronger current was culture, mentorship, stories, knowing which pine top to watch when the breeze turned sly. Then came 1983 and the end of the requirement. Players could bring their own, and the chapter closed. Some of the old guard retired, some stayed on, and the masters became modern. But the Augusta caddies left behind more than lore. They left a way of seeing. Land the ball to a place, not a pin. Read a slope, not a line. Trust the man, not the moment. Then the game turned a page. PGA 75, US Open 76. And by 83 at Augusta, players travelled with their own. The caddy became a proper partner, strategist, psychologist, metronome, keeping the pulse while the world grew louder. Now, 5 portraits of that partnership under pressure. From Elliott through Mackay and Scott to Argea and Williams, showing how the job doesn't just find numbers, it makes Sundays.
Right there out of Brooks, Koepka. They both know how hard that was. That was
Ricky Elliott, low pulse, loud Sundays. From Portrush to the sharp end of Sundays, Ricky Elliott and Brooks keep it simple and say it once. It began in Europe and travelled across 3 tours, 5 majors together, 17 and at 18 US Opens, 18, 19 and 23 PGAs. Brooks hasn't lifted one since 2023, but with Ricky, the chase for number 6 feels live. No fuss, final number, wind, elevation, sorted. One rule only one of us wobbles at a time, the other keeps his head.
Okay, so you gotta hit shots, we gotta keep on.
Yeah.
Like a tower?
Yeah, I was
it gives us more room both short and long.
Yeah, and you know, there's a little bit of an upslip there that should kill the ball's momentum again, as opposed to.
Jim Bones Mackay, the archivist of advantage. The gift was conversation. You could hear it on the broadcasts, Bones and Phil weighing carry and contour, wind and bounce, until the choice felt inevitable. 41 wins, 5 majors, and the preparation to match. Sunday starts on Tuesday. Walk it, note it, trust it. When Bones and Phil parted, the craft didn't. With Justin Thomas, he added another major to the ledger. Same library, new borrower. Sunday starts on Tuesday. Walk it, note it, trust it. Some pairings just fit.
jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Ted Scott, calm as a superpower. Ted Scott was perfect for 2 whose feet dance, Bubba Watson and Scottie Scheffler. Both can run hot. Ted brings the temperature down. With Bubba, 2 green jackets, then a quiet conversation with Scottie about sharpening each other. 5th start, Phoenix, 4 late bogeys.
Figured it out. Is a tour winner for the...
And still the composure to win. A year later, a jacket. By 2025, 6 majors for Ted between them. Proof that chemistry travels. Sometimes the red you need most is on your player, not the green.
Place in the US Open. Angelo is caddy, hugging him. I've never seen Jack really any happier.
Angelo Argea, the voice in Jack's ear. Angelo Argea worked in an era that clipped his total. Local men at Augusta, often a local at the Open. Restrictions at the US Open. Even so, 7 majors with Jack. US Opens 1967, 1972, 1980. PGA's 1971, 1973, 1975, 1980. What he told Jack wasn't how to be, but who he already was. Argea was asked, "What exactly do you do for Jack?" Argea replied, "He asked me to do 2 things. Remind him, you're the best out here. Plenty of holes left. Simple, lethal. Now and then, greatness needs a mirror more than a map."
Well, thanks to Steve Williams, they've been a tremendous partnership. Thinking of his father and how much his father would have loved to have been here and see him winning in this way.
A life changer.
Steve Williams, the 14 major man, 13 with Tiger Woods. That's what it looks like when a once-in-a-generation caddy meets a once-in-a-generation player. Steve Williams ran the bag like an operation. Strategy, protection, precision. The honours list speaks plainly, PGA's 1999, 2000, 2006, 2007. US Opens 2000, 2002, 2003, 2008. Opens 2000, 2005, 2006. Masters 2001, 2002, 2005. And a 14th with Adam Scott in 2013. Started young with Peter Thompson, hardened with Greg Norman and Raymond Floyd, then straight into golf's hottest furnace. Pressure, protocol. Protect the space. Protect the swing. Protect the history. If you've stuck with me this long, I want to add 2 special mentions. Each deserves far more time, but it wouldn't be proper to leave them off.
When I came to Augusta National in 1990 for the Masters tournament, it was my first time ever.
Fanny Sunesson, the pioneer. First woman to win a men's major on the bag, 4 with Nick Faldo, including the 1990 Masters. Professional to a fault, unflinching.
Great victory for Greg Norman. He's waited a long time. Many doubters wondered whether he would, whether he could.
Pete Bender, the old school pro. 50 seasons, top 5 by those who know. Helped Greg Norman at Turnberry 86 and Ian Baker Finch at Birkdale 91. Proof that proper trust can change the weather on a Sunday. We count majors. They count moments. The true currency is trust. Earned on Tuesdays, cashed on Sundays. The people behind the bag turn a good number into the right one. If this piece rang true, do us a proper turn. Subscribe, hit like and leave a comment. Tell us the caddy who changed how you watch the game. It keeps the work moving and the stories coming.